Chit. You already know it's your boy Joe back at it again. CodingPhase.com. Your boy's backing out and did it again. Yeah, man. Today was a sad day, man. Right? Some people got laid off, right? Things that happen, right? We're literally like in a recession, even though the government doesn't want to say we are in a recession. I don't know what else we can call this. Okay. But that's the truth, right? Things is not as good as it used to be, right? We could say that gas prices is up. Life in general is up. You go to the store, you're trying to buy a steak that used to be $10. Guess what? Now it's $14, $15, right? So if you used to spend, $200 per week on food, guess what? Expect to spend $300 now. Okay, that's just how it is now. All right. That's life, right? This is where we at, right? So today I want to go in and talk about what happened with Shopify and how they had to cut 10% of their workforce. And it was from all type of positions too. So it wasn't just one group, right? I've done my research. I kept on looking online, going through Twitter. Before I talk about this topic, I reached out to people that got laid off and things like that. And I can say, no one is happy, right? Shoot, man. Toby's not happy, right? Obito. Shout out to Toby, man. He not happy either to have to do this, right? But yeah, let's discuss how did we get here, okay? So Shopify has always been a great company. It has been growing little by little, right? The first time I even heard about Shopify was like probably, 2012, around there, 2012, 2013, just because I was in the world of Ruby on Rails, and this has been like one of the top companies that do Ruby on Rails. And, they've been killing it for years, and the growth has been steadily going up. Okay. In 2020, the pandemic hit, right? A lot of stores got closed, right? A lot of boutiques and shops, people just holding on to inventory. They can't do nothing with it, right? So they start looking online. What is the best platform to start selling their products? And, here comes Shopify. Shopify has everything that you need to set up an online store, right? We've seen it over the years from the guys that do drop shipping, right? That they've been killing it. But now the average person, right, and just almost damn near every business is like, I think I need a store. Okay. And of course, Shopify is the best platform. So, naturally people are going to go to Shopify, right? So one thing that your boy Toby mentioned in here, because he released a tweet which also linked to a blog post where he discussed most of these things, right? You guys can check this out later on when you guys have a chance. Definitely read it. To me, I felt bad for just the company in general and just everything that's happening. And just overall, nobody wants to fire people. Nobody wants to lay off people. This is something that people have to understand. You want to always grow, and you always want to continue to grow and continue to have your employees to be happy and continue to give them, everything that you can. And so even reading this, I'm like, I could tell like the type of individual Toby is. And I'm like, damn, man, like I, as somebody who owns a company and is also opening other companies right now, like literally I know this feeling. You want to keep all your employees and you want to keep people that have done great work for you. But the truth is that if the money's not there and it's not coming in how it's supposed to, guess what? You're going to have to let some people go, right? Because you got to keep yourself at a certain margin of profit, or keep yourself afloat. Okay, this is stuff that people don't really understand unless you are on that other side, right? We live in this era of like, man, everybody that's rich, everybody that's made it, everybody that's the boss, everybody that's the owner is the enemy, because you're not in that position. You're like, man, F this guy that's up there. He probably got billions and billions of dollars. He's probably like one of the guys from DuckTales, just swimming in a pool of gold, right? But the truth is, it's just regular people just like you and me that just happen to work hard to get into these positions and take risk, right? And this is exactly what Shopify and Toby and the whole company in general just took a risk, right? If we look over here on this chart, right, in 2020, right, basically e-commerce skyrocketed, and just the growth rate was just crazy, right? Guess what? What does that mean, right? You have to go in and start hiring people for, customer service, recruiters, new developers. You might have to hire developers that can do the same thing as other developers, but because of the workflow and how many people are coming into the company now, you have to hire other developers that do the same thing as other developers that were there before, just to give them an extra hand, because the workload is getting crazy because there's so many new customers in, and you want to go in and deliver all the features and everything faster to support that new growth. Okay. And that's what happened with Shopify. Okay. I think right now they're still in a really great space. It sounds, kind of messed up to say it's only 10%, but it's only 10% in the sense of this could have been worse, right? If you look into this chart, right, the U.S. e-commerce adoption of growth rate, right, in 2020, it skyrocketed, went up, boom. But then this thing could have easily just dropped and say, hey, guys, you know what? We don't need online stores. We don't need to be selling things online. This is This is, you know what I mean? Somebody could say, this is fake news. Online is not the way. We need to start opening up brick and mortars and open up stores, right? And this thing could have just dropped. Right? The experiment failed. But guess what? The experiment didn't fail. What's happening is that now it's coming back to normal, right? To the actual growth rate of how e-commerce has been growing over the years, right? So let me see if I could zoom this in, right? This is just to give you guys, yes, take my cookies. Okay. This is just to give you like a look at how this thing works, right? It skyrocketed, right? And then now it's just been like, okay, boom, boom. And then now it looks like it's going down, but technically what is happening is it's correcting itself, okay? This is the same trajectory that it was going to be on regardless, right? Yes, we all wish we could go in and continue going up and up and up and up. And it's 99% of all online stores are up, basically, right? Or all businesses are done through online, and that's it. Nobody goes to online store to the malls. Nobody goes to the corner store, to the local deli. Everything gets done through online. Guess what? We win on that situation, right? So we all want that. But the truth is that that's not gonna happen like that. It's gonna take time. Right, little by little, right, and we're basically back to the right place where it would have been regardless without the whole growth rate that happened in 2020. Okay, so the company, I don't believe that's in a bad situation, right? I believe that it's the market's correcting itself, right? The only thing that sucks is that, guess what? This is people's lives. This is people's, their livelihood, right? Imagine I was reading through the Twitter, somebody said, man, my kid is about to be born in 2 months and, I got laid off. Like, that's hard, right? And that falls hard on the CEO or on the company on itself, right? I'm pretty sure, people see this, right? Nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to have that happen, right? You want to keep everyone happy. But the truth is that, you know what? The growth is not there no more, how it was. Now we're back to our regular schedule. You get what I'm saying? So 10% of the people got let go. So going back into it, some of the people that are part of this, this list, it's like 1,000 people that got let go. Let me see if I can find it. There's somewhere in here. I want to bring up who are the people that's actually getting let go of the company. Let me see. Where is it? I think it was let me see if it was support. Okay, this is what Toby said. Most of the impacted roles are in recruiting, right? Support, sales, and across the company. We're also eliminating the over specialized, right? Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you hire people that is like overly specialized for whatever situation or whatever role, right? And guess what? We can't keep those people. We can't just be paying them top dollar like we used to, or whatever it might be, right? Sometimes we might say, you know what, we got to cut down on those people. Again, this is something that I mentioned too. Duplicate roles. This is like when, let's say, for example, we have a deadline, let's say an application or a feature, whatever it could be, for 6 months from now, right? But guess what? We only have 10 people on our team. Now, to get this done in 6 months, we're going to have to hire 10 more people, okay? So just to get things done, to get it to that specific date, okay? So I might have, 2 front-end developers, 2 back-end developers, 2 product managers, whatever, etc., right? So now I'm going to have to say, you know what? We have 4 front-end developers. Out of those 4 front-end developers, we're going to have to let go 1. And that's pretty much what that means, duplicate roles. Sometimes that happens when you're growing fast, and it is what it is, It just sucks that, this is real people, right? But again, as well as some groups that were convenient to have, but too far removed from building products. So to me, this was key, right? Now, when I see this here, right, I could imagine this could mean, right? Again, I don't know anything. I don't got no connection to Shopify. I don't know Toby from a hole in the wall. I respect the guy. I respect the company. I enjoy the products, right? But to me, when I'm reading this, I will say this means, maybe customer service, right? Maybe we hire too many people for customer service, or for whatever roles it could be. Shoot, it could be for marketing. Too many writers. One thing that I saw online, a lot of the people that's posting online, like, hey, I just got laid off. It was a lot of writers, right? I don't know if Shopify is like, they expected to, write a lot of content or create new content, SEO purposes and things like that, and tutorials and things like that. Whatever it could be, right? And this is like a little bit far removed from building the products itself, right? I've seen that there are some developers that have gotten laid off, but not that many, right? And maybe the answer to that is, guess what? We need people to build a product, okay? We could maybe start letting go of some of the people that it was great to have them here. It was great help. It was great when, the phones were ringing constantly. But guess what? We not having that right now. We're going to have to let those people go. We wish we could keep them, but that's the business. That's the market. We're in a recession right now, right? So again, this is, who's being affected by this. Now, let's get into, where we go from here, right? And even like what they're doing for people who are getting laid off. And I'll be honest, I'm from the United States. Anybody that's watching this right now, and even from like Dominican Republic, my home country too, like, this is a great package. This is a great package. I'm telling you guys right now, this is a great package, right? Basically it says 16 weeks paid, right? Plus 1 week more per year you worked at Shopify. So let's say, for example, you have 4 years at Shopify. You're basically getting 20 weeks. Okay? Calculate that. That's damn near like 5 months. Right? Let's say you are somebody new, right? Somebody a certain amount of time at the company, right? Maybe have 1 year. Maybe you came in 2020 when things was ramping up, right? This is what? Almost 2 years that you have. So maybe they give you an extra week. So you're talking about 17 weeks. That's like about, 4 months in a week. That's not bad. And that's paid. That's like, from my understanding, right? That's paid. You're basically, for the next 4 months, you could reinvent yourself. You could train yourself. You could apply to other companies, and you have that, that pressure off, that for the next 4 months, there's a check coming in, or you already got your check, right? One of the two. Okay, so that's not bad. Okay, extended medical benefits, right? So you're still keeping your medical benefits, right? To whatever date it is, right? You get to keep your equipment. Some of these companies like Shopify and some other ones, right? They'll go in and be like, hey, what do you need? You need a standing desk? Cool, we'll order it. You need one of those little balls that you could, you could go in and balance yourself while you're on your desk. Guess what? We'll pay for it, right? You want to be balancing yourself, balancing your legs while you're typing? Shit, keep it. You get what I'm saying? Whatever equipment you got, keep it, right? Alliance, let me see. Alliance will buy... No, an allowance, right? An allowance for buying new laptops. So if you need a new laptop to do your work, to be able to apply to new jobs, etc., you're also going to be able to have an allowance for that. Meaning that, hey, we're going to give you some extra money so you could go and buy yourself a laptop. Okay? They're going to pay for your internet in, the coming months, right? Or the coming weeks that you're going to be without a job, so you could continue to look for a job. So for you, your internet's free for now. Okay, so you could take care of that. Access to career coaching, right? Interviewing support, resume crafting, right? And the final one for the entrepreneurs, because guess what? Sometimes you get laid off, right? You get fired, whatever it might be. You might say, I don't want to work for nobody no more. I might not want to go back to the office again. Right? And Shopify saying, hey, you know what? We're also going to provide you with a free account to Shopify. So I'm pretty sure if you want to start your own Shopify store, you want to start selling your own products, there's people that's going to do it. Trust me. Right? When shit is falling apart, there's people that come out on the winning end. Okay? So they're providing a pretty solid, packaging here. Like, it's not bad, right? At all. Trust me. I've been in situations where people come in and how can I say this? You get laid off or you get fired from a job, and trust me, nobody's looking out for you. Okay? Nobody is really looking out for you. Nobody's really telling you anything. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's really, how can I say this? Just really looking out for you at all. And, people just get fired left and right. Okay. Let me see. I see Tech Rally. Tech Rally, you sent me a text. I see. Shout out to Tech Rally. I see him on the chat. Yeah, man. Things is crazy. Reading through here. I'm just reading through the chat. This is also live, guys. So again, going back to this conversation of this thing, like, it sucks, right? I'll be honest, it sucks. Getting laid off, being fired, whatever it could be, just not having that security, that check, every 2 weeks. It's a headache, man. Especially if you got situations, you got bills, mortgages, and whatever, right? And to be honest, let's just be honest. A lot of people, they spend money. Sometimes, right? I'm guilty of that too. There's times I'll be like, man, I should have way more money in my savings, or I should have way more money in investment. But guess what? I spend a lot, right? And a lot of people do it too, right? So this is also a wake-up call, right? It's a wake-up call, right? Save your money, stack up, and make more money. And also have your side businesses and side income. This is where things like this that I always preach on this channel is very useful, right? And it's that, you know what? Like, ever since I became a developer, like, literally every single time that I've either lost a contract or got laid off or whatever it could happen, right? I was good. I got savings. I got money that I'm stacked up for 6 months, a year, right? I mean, shoot, before I even got to do this coding channel thing, right? Like I already had 300K saved up, which is not bad. You get what I'm saying? Um, so I'm the guy that's always negative, right? I don't know if you guys noticed that, right? I'm the guy that I'm never waiting for everything to go great, guys. It's like, nah, when things go good, hey, I take it as a blessing. But 95% of the time, I'm looking at everything like, bro, like this shit about to burn. This shit about to fall. Like, yo, this shit about to get destroyed. Like, that's how I am. I'm a negative individual in the sense of I'm a pessimist, right? I'm not looking for, man, this cup is like right now, somebody will say, this shit don't have nothing in there. And somebody will say, man, this thing is half full. I'm like, bro, this shit is empty, bro. Like, you get what I'm saying? I'm that guy. I'm like, yo, that shit is empty, bro. Right. But one thing that I wanted to point out, right, and going over here through, just Twitter and overall just, how people think, right? Because I want to see like what people are thinking about this, right? And there was this, tweet like this where it's like this dude says, Sam Hirsch, and shout out to Sam Hirsch, nothing personal with him, but I'm reading the tweet. He's like, yo, Shopify CEO Toby took a gamble and lost lots of money, and now instead of cutting down his own billionaire salary, he's laying off 10% of his workforce. Many in Ottawa praise Luke, right? I guess that's Toby's name, or praise, I don't know how to say his name, Luke, right? Or Luke, right? For his generosity, but in reality, it's just like any other billionaire. And I'll be honest with you guys, we need to stop doing this, okay? Like, we need to stop blaming whoever is on top for every single thing. Like, even on this situation, you have to understand, as a founder, as a CEO, right? You have to take risk. This is how businesses grow, right? There's a million things that happen on a business that the employees never get to see, right? You find out at the end. When shit is good, you'll find out at the end. And when shit is bad, you're going to find out at the end too, right? But you also have to take a second to understand, where did this job come from, right? Where does this job really come from? Like, was this job just created out of nowhere? Nah, it's like supply and demand, right? We need your services. You're bringing value to us, right? And then from there, we give you a job, right? That's how it is. That's how the shit works, right? Sometimes people think like jobs just appear out of nowhere. No, somebody had to go in and create that job, okay? And to be honest with you, like, I used to be one of those people before too. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be like, man, I don't like my boss. I don't like this and that. But as I continue to work hard, right? And we all work hard at all different levels. But as I continue to work hard, right? It's like I have friends of mine who also think this way. And they tell me, I mean, I'm a small fish in this world, right? Oh, Joe, you're doing good because, you got lucky, right? Somebody that comes into this channel that don't know me from a hole in the wall, might come in and say, well, you're there because you got lucky. It has nothing to do with luck. It has to do with putting in work, right? More than most people will put. And then from there comes in the fact that you got to take a risk. Most of the founders and owners of companies, right, they take a big risk. They could easily go in and say, I just want to stay small. I just want to have a small little shop here. Or I just want to stay working for somebody else and I'm good. I'm sure. I don't got to worry about taxes. I don't got to worry about, legislation. I don't have to worry about whatever is happening in the world. Shoot, my check is at the end. It's every week, every 2 weeks, whatever it has to be, right? And you get paid. You don't have to worry about anything else other than just do your job. But CEOs, founders, they take a risk, right? And to be honest, yes, in this bet, Shopify had to they lost 10% of their employees in this bet, but it was a bet that they had to take. Okay, it was a bet that they had to take. They had to go in and do this and go in and say, guess what? It's a great opportunity for e-commerce. If everything goes good in 2, 3 years, 4 years from now, we're going to be beyond killing it, right? We're going to make so much profit. So guess what? Let's hire new people. Let's bring more people than what we need to grow this company even more, right? That's a gamble. I'm pretty sure Shopify could have easily said, let's not hire as many people as we are hiring right now, and let's just chill. And guess what? Maybe they wouldn't be able to serve those customers that they had in 2020, 2021. But they could have just stayed right there and say, okay, we're not going to hire that much. But guess what? People came in, they got paid. It wasn't like nobody got, didn't get paid. People got paid. They got paid for their time. They got paid for the value that they brought in. They got paid to, supply the demand that was there for their type of skills. Now, we can't go in and just blame whoever's on top and say, man, e-commerce could have been way bigger. And if it would have been way bigger, like, man, you shoot. Or now it's like, yo, guess what? Like, you didn't bust your ass for 10. Like, Shopify is a small company. They just, recently started cashing out and started making some bread. Like, making more money now. But this being a small company. So, hey, by the way, those 10 years that you already put in, those 15, almost damn near 20 years that you put in, guess what? You shouldn't be able to cash out on your own money that from the work that you've put in. 10, 15 years, 20 years, risk. You know what I'm saying? Sleepless nights, times that you got to deal with the stress. People don't understand. You might go through stress, but you have no idea the weight that you have when you have people that are depending on you. No one looks on that side. Nobody wants to tell that side of the story either, right? No one's going to go in and say, you know what, this is crazy. Trust me, I've been there. I've had small teams and responsibilities of like, 5, 6 employees. And I'm like, bro, I got to make payroll. I got to make sure that they get paid. I got to be on top of this. And sometimes I'm doing so much work on my own, right, that I might even forget, like, I just missed payroll. I got to send it now on a Saturday so it could get on Monday. Just off the strength, because I'm like hands on. I'm working. I'm grinding on my business. You know what I'm saying? So you don't think that those guys is like that? People just be thinking like, this guy they just traveling the world, man. They're just chilling by the beach, man. Toby's somewhere out there surfing right now. That guy probably couldn't sleep for the last 2 weeks thinking about, we're going to have to do this now. We're going to have to go in and let all these people go. We got to find a good way to give them a good package. Because at the end of the day, they're still losing money. In the sense of, now we're taking care of people, even though they're not doing any work for us, we're still going to have to go in and take care of them for 4 months. That's money that the company got to pay. They're investing into you too. You get what I'm saying? So, when I look at tweets like this one, where it's just like, hey, man, it's like, hey, instead of cutting his own billionaire salary, laying off 10% of his workforce, it's like, bro, like, let's go in and calculate that. Let's just go in. Let's just say on average, right? Let's go in and say we got 1,000 people, right? 1,000 people, and they're making, let's say, I don't know, an average of 80,000, right? Just an average. There's people that are making more. There's some people that are making less, right? That's about, the number looks so crazy, I need to do it again. Hold on. 1,000 people, right? 1,000 people right, times 80,000, right? I just want to slow it down before the number almost gave me a heart attack right now. Okay, we're talking about $80 million, right? That's just to maintain that. Okay, that's just to maintain that 1,000 people. That's an average, right? Okay. So just imagine now you have to go in and make sure that you bring in that type of profit and keep it at that same level. It's a lot of responsibility. People think like you just chilling. Trust me, most of these guys, they're not chilling. They're stressed the fuck out. This is why, when people be like, man, it must be good up there. It's like, I'm good. This is like, even like when I look at like the big YouTubers and things like that, I'd rather be small. Just how I have it like this. Small community. Look at this. We having a great time. 100 of us. You get what I'm saying? This is great. I don't want to have 1 million people watching me. I don't want to have 1 million people, responsibility for 1 million people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit's stressful. Okay. Now imagine you working at a company, you build a company, you build it to a certain point, and you trying to grow, and you taking a risk. You investing money that you might not get back. You get what I'm saying? That's the thing about, when you have your own business, you're taking a huge risk. And then at the end of the day, it's like somebody that shows up to a casino. You can't be mad at the guy that goes to a casino and puts in $10,000 a chip, right? And say, yo, I got $10,000 and I'm going to bet everything on this table. You get what I'm saying? Now, if he wins, he's going to win a lot. Let's say you put on on a roulette, that's by 36. You multiply that 10,000 times 36 if that number comes out. But there's another 35 chances that you might lose. Now, you can't be mad at him when he goes in and put all his chips into that number 36. And the 36 comes out and he got his bread. You showed up to the table, all you had was $100, and you're like, damn, this is messed up. I have to play $5 chips. That's how life is. He took a big risk. You can't be mad at him because he got the jackpot. That's just how life is. There's nothing that we could do about it, right? But again, all of this stuff happens from hard work. Nobody gets to that point just like chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of the guys that are entrepreneurs, they don't get to that point by putting in the work or just showing up and be like, hey man, I was born with this. Most of the guys that have to build a company from ground up, most of the time they have to build that shit on their own, put their own money, right? Put in the work, have to, especially for us as developers, we have to code all this shit by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, it takes a lot of work to get to that point, man. So we can't go in and be like, yo, man, fuck everybody that's on the top. Nah, we can't do that. We can't do that. You get what I'm saying? Life is hard for everybody, believe it or not. And at the end of the day, I know for sure, damn well, that me as, for example, I'll give you a perfect example, right? Somebody might come here and be like, this is an overnight success, overnight celebrity, right? Let's say, right? What people don't know, I've been grinding since 2011, doing, learning to code, doing 12 hours, 16 hours a day, right? Going to work, right? Coming back home, putting 3-4 hours, working on side projects, trying to make side income, right? Shoot, come in here in 2017, got out my old job, right? Took all my savings, invested into me, invested into my company, right? 2 years, I wasn't making no profit. Damn near 3. Living off my savings and my side income, putting it into a new company that's making no money, right? What if like 5-10 years from now, I'm in here and I got 20, 30, 50 employees. I sell the company and people will be like, man, look at this guy. $50 million for his company? Shoot, must be nice. But nobody wants to put in that work that I put in from 2011, 16 hours a day, 12 hours a day on an off day. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you also have to understand that side too. Right? But yeah, man, let's get into it. Let me go into the chats, see what you guys is talking about in here. Sunshine says recession is real. Yes. Another thing that I want to get into, right? With all this layoffs, right? 1,000 people laid off from Shopify. What does that mean for you, right? The new developer. What does that mean for you, the guy who was working at a company and was thinking about, shoot, maybe I'll start learning about Shopify development, right? Maybe I'll start learning about Shopify apps and build my own app, and because it's booming, right? E-commerce is booming. But shoot, now Shopify is laying off people. It must be bad. E-commerce must be doing really bad. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's not. We're basically in the same trajectory that we've always been, okay? We're still going to the top regardless. E-commerce is always going to grow, guys, no matter what, because guess what? It just doesn't make sense for people to be buying everything in stores, and more things like, VR, what's the other one? XDR or something like that. Virtual reality, augmented reality. There's so many things that we haven't even really gotten into that is going to make a huge change, which is going to help grow. Even right now, the things that Shopify is doing with YouTube and the partnership with Google is great. You could literally start selling your products right on YouTube. You could start selling your products on TikTok. You can sell your products on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. That means there's going to be way more growth in the next few months, in the next couple of years too. Okay, so this is not going anywhere. Okay, so for you that's still thinking about, should I learn Shopify? Yeah. And you know what? This could be even, and I hate to say it could be even a blessing for, a big news like this to come out and say, man, Shopify is losing 10%, or they had to cut out 10%, because that drives the people that wasn't going to do this shit anyways. That's giving them an excuse to stop right here. Y'all know what I mean? There was people right now that they were looking for that excuse. They were looking for one thing to not do it. They're like, man, Shopify, isn't that like WordPress? They were looking for an excuse. It don't matter what it was. It would have came out, Toby went outside walking his dog. His dog got hit by a car, God forbid for his dog. I don't know if he got a dog. But if dog got hit by a car, that news right there would have been, you see, I told you e-commerce was bullshit. I told you Shopify was bullshit. They're looking for any excuse to not do it. Right? And that's a blessing for us, people like me and you, right? Where we could read through these headlines and we could see through all this bullshit and say, we've been through shit like this. We know how this thing goes. Okay? And we can see, to the future of what's going to happen with e-commerce and just the economy overall. And we know this shit's going to be fine. Okay? Now, the people that just there yo, I'm looking for any excuse. You know what I mean? There's dudes right now that be like, man, a fucking branch of a tree from my house came down. That's it, man. I can't learn this shit no more. I can't learn Shopify. You know what I'm saying? Anything. You know what I'm saying? Man, my toilet over flooded. Bro, I can't learn Shopify no more, man. I got to stop. I got to take a break. That's great. Great news for us, right? The people that's not going to stop. The people that's going to continue doing what they have to do, right? Because this is just a headline, right? You go in and you start looking into Shopify jobs, and you can see it. This shit hasn't stopped, right? This is one of 3,000 jobs. This is every month. Every month you'll see 3,000 to 4,000 jobs here in the US that have to do with Shopify development. Okay? So at the end of the day, and we're not even counting the freelancing market, the Upworks, the Fibers, the Etsy's, the selling your theme on the Shopify theme store, the selling themes on ThemeForest. Like, we haven't even touched that. This is just on jobs. So this thing is not going anywhere. So for those of you guys that were thinking about learning Shopify development, don't look at this as like, yo, hey, the ride is over. We're getting off now. Nah, bro. This is the moment where you go in and you take advantage of this. Because a lot of people's going to quit. A lot of people's going to be like, man, I'm done with this. I'm done with Shopify. I don't think this is going to survive. Like, there's people that's going to go in and looking for an excuse. I've seen this shit a million times, bro. People go in and they find any excuse to just give up. This is great news for people like you and me that we know how to fucking grind this shit out and continue doing what we have to do. I mean, just the other day, one of our students just got hired from, another subscriber got hired from CodingPhase.com, right? And shout out to him, right? The e-commerce guy, my boy. Go check him out, right? Just the other day, literally, right? Keshav Anand, right? Shopify developer. You could check out his story on CodingPhase.com, right? Literally, okay? This week. July 21st is when we posted this. Okay, you could go in, read a little bit more about him, reach out to him on Twitter. Pretty good guy. Grinding. I've seen him grinding like, Joe, I'm freelancing. Joe, I'm working on some Shopify apps. Joe, this and that. Now, full-time job, Shopify developer. I believe he's working in, I don't know if it's a company in Switzerland. It's somewhere in Europe, I believe, right? So, again, the people looking for an excuse, you got your excuse. Now, leave this shit for us, the people that's really going to make this shit happen and continue making our bread, okay? But, yeah, let me continue going down through here. Valentina says, damn, 10%. Yeah, 10%. Shopify is not a big company like that. It's like 10,000 employees or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that big. Also, too, most people work remotely. Okay? So, it's actually pretty good. Tech Rally said, yo, did you get my text? No, my phone is charging, bro. I did not get your text. Let me see. Brother said, what was Toby mistaken on exactly? Just took the risk to hire more people. That's it. That's the risk, right? The risk of hiring more people, bringing more people into the company. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, somebody told me this. In the last 2 years, or I don't know, the last 4 years, from my understanding, like, Shopify has grown 40% of employees. Like, their numbers have gone up. So it sounds messed up to, in the sense, like, just the wording of it, but 10%, it's not as bad as it could be. There's companies right now that are not doing good. And, most of the people that got let go were people that, just like in the blog said it, people that are not really building the product, people who are, more HR or office type things, right? Customer service, right? That you needed those people when the growth was there. But now that the growth is not there, now we like, okay, cool. We're going to have to let go a couple of people, but we have to work with people that built the product. We can't let those people go. You get what I'm saying? So it's not as bad as you might think. But it definitely sucks. Nobody wants to let go of people. Let me see. Brett Tripper said, I saw a designer post on Twitter. She was let go. She was there for 6 years. Again, I don't know everybody's details, but it sucks. David E. says, it was a COVID bubble. Yeah, every company right now, Zoom going through it. Every company, shoot, Netflix thought, Netflix said, man, we good. You, you know what happened with Netflix, right? So it's like a lot of companies, they took a risk. They took a risk. They doubled down on, on that growth that it could have maintained itself, but at the end of the day, it didn't. So now it's like we're getting back on schedule. So now we have to, it's like the market. The market got to correct itself. It's like when I was looking at stocks the other day, I was like, yo, I remember those days when Tesla stock was like going up, blowing up every freaking day. And I'm like, yo, this shit sounds crazy. Like, I don't understand why people buying so much Tesla stocks. I bought some stocks. I made money too. In like 2020 with Tesla, we made some money. But guess what? At some point, shit started coming down. Netflix, I made money and then I lost money. Right? The stock. Shopify, I put money into Shopify. I lost some money with Shopify. Right? I won some money. All right, I got some money. I didn't win it. I got some money from my investment. But guess what? I also lost money. You can't even time the market no more. It's just how it is. That's the economy right now. And for those of you guys that I don't even want to say it, but shoot, y'all wanted Biden? Y'all wanted your boy Joe? Y'all wanted your boy Joe in there falling off a bike? Yeah. Thank you, guys. Y'all could have voted for anybody at that point, right? It's the truth, man. I can't even, fucking sugarcoat it. I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things, so many factors that we could blame this whole shit on, right? Everything that's happening in the world. But that's one of them. And that's definitely one of them. Some people's like, yo, we got to get the orange men out. I'm like,